Hey guys, it's Leesh, and welcome to another episode of Car Confessions. Guys, first of all, it is 5:14 on a Wednesday afternoon, pitch black. This is what the East Coast gives you if you didn't know. Like if you're not from the East Coast, you might not know that the sun sets crazy early. Like, I could just go to bed right now. It's crazy how quickly the sun sets. It's funny because my niece, who used to live on the East Coast, she would say the same thing. She's like, yo, that East Coast and the sun setting during the fall and winter is crazy. And I'm like, yeah, it is. But I've been used to this. I've been here for so long. It's kind of like a part of the fabric for me. So I just kind of roll with the punches. Yeah. So, yeah, I promise you, it's still the afternoon ish. Well, basically, it's evening. What am I saying? It's evening here in New York, but it's also rainy. So that doesn't help the situation. You know, when it rains, it's a little bit dreary, but even still, it still gets so dark here during this time of year. Yeah. How are y'all? What's happening? What's going on? How are you feeling? I hope you're well. I hope you're taking care of yourselves. This is a wild time to be alive. Full stop. I mean, that's all I can say, right? I feel like every time I get on here, guys, it's like, where do we even begin, right? Well, I will begin with this. I had a really awesome audition. That's where I'm just coming from, is an audition. And I felt really good about it. I'm actually getting over a cold, which a lot of times can be a little stressful when you're, auditioning. And my voice, because it was a singing audition, my voice sounded great. I felt great. Like everything was just wonderful. And that's the good thing about when you have a really good audition. It's just like you just feel so great. And it's like, whatever the outcome, I had a blast. It was great. And I love auditioning. It's just, there's a skill to it. I love doing it. And so I had a really great audition and I'm feeling good about it. I was a little nervous, like I said, because, I'm recovering from my little cold here, but regardless, I had a great time. But yeah, back to this life we're living, guys. What is going on? Luigi, the CEO of United Healthcare. I mean, guys, I literally, because I live here in New York, right? So, we got word of all this stuff pretty quick, obviously, because I'm here. And I was just like, what? Knowing where all this happened here in the city, it's just like, okay, that is such a busy area. Even if it is 7 a.m., there's a decent amount of people on the street, right? So there's that. And you're talking about like Midtown. So it's what people see on TV. It's a pretty populated, busy area. And, whatever. I mean, we've talked about it. We've heard about it ad nauseum at this point. But it is just wild to me that happened and that they couldn't find this guy for as long as they said they couldn't find him. And on top of that, this person they claim is this Luigi guy, they're claiming that this is him. I'm just like, is this really him? And this is Leash. Like, once again, entertainment purposes only, my thoughts, my feelings, just trying to like sort out and process this life that we're living. Okay. But I'm like, if this is the guy, or if he's one of the guys, right? Because I'm like, this just seems way too perfect, right? Like how everything was planned out down to like even knowing, like I've not heard a lot of people talking about this, but the time frame of you knowing when this CEO was going to be on the street. I mean, is anyone else like thinking that? Like, are you just out here? And I'm trying to remember that day here in New York, was it really cold? Because it's been cold. And I don't remember if it was really cold or not. Oh my God, guys, if you could see in front of me, total side note, there is one of those Tesla, God knows what kind of cars, like DeLorean in its worst state, and right in front of me. In the back of it, it says girl dad, whatever. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, like, how did you know old boy was going to be out there at that time? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just way too many questions for me, at least. Like, how did you know he was going to be there at that time? How did you even know he was staying. Like, he doesn't live in New York City. How did you know his schedule? Like, no one's talking about that. Like, how in the world did this random kid, if Luigi is the person, how did he know all this information? Right? And we're finding out more info about like this person's story. I've heard that he had health concerns that were denied by United Healthcare. And something else, I heard something about his mother maybe had health concerns that were also denied. And they both have suffered the consequences. I think, and I could be wrong, but I think his mom has already passed, and so, or she's still suffering. One of the two. Listen, don't take all. I don't know, because I'm here and there. There's so many things to keep up with in this life right now. But regardless, guys, how did he know that this man was going to be in this place at that time to do the pew pew? You know what I'm saying? Like, what? It's crazy. It is wild. And like, funnier, it's not funny, but it is funny. It's like the whole idea around him planting this book bag or backpack. I say book bag. I don't know if that's me aging myself, whatever, but you know what I'm talking about. He's planting a book bag in Central Park that's filled with Monopoly money. And that's a whole other conversation we can go down. That's like for me thinking about, just this whole idea of billionaires, and that it could be a lot of things. It could be the fact that, money is fake and we are, basically worshiping money and worshiping these billionaires and allowing them to do all these god awful things in the name of our health, our well-being, and all the things, and just praising them because they're billionaires. And also to realize, like I said before, that money is not even real. And so we're fighting over these pieces of paper for what, right? We are doing things like hoarding money, like by being billionaires, and basically robbing people to some degree of their livelihoods by making people pay all this money for insurance, all this money for most things in life. If you live in New York City, you're paying a lot of money for a lot of things. And so I do feel like, even though whatever his motives were for planting that bag, I think that was one thing, at least for me, that was like, wow, this dude is, or whoever, because it could be more than one person, this plan, we'll just call it the plan, this plan has been thought all the way out. You know what I'm saying? Like, this wasn't like, oh, tomorrow I'm going to go, because I have had it with this fool, the CEO of United Healthcare, and I'm just going to, take my chances. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, this was thought out in ways that, like, half of us couldn't even probably the majority of us couldn't wrap our heads around. But what's also very interesting is the unity that we're seeing in the United States, with people coming together and supporting this guy, Luigi, in air quotes, Luigi, or the whole plan, the people who have planned this, we don't know. The support that is, rallied around this individual and this situation, it can't be denied. And I think it's so important for us to realize in this moment, with this situation, now more than ever, we need to come together as a society and demand our rights, demand the things that are necessary for us to live well, not only in this country, but in our cities, in our states, because in so many ways, I feel we have allowed politicians and CEOs and all these different people to take the reins. Meanwhile, it's our money, it's our tax dollars, it's us paying for all these things, and we're getting the bad end of the stick. And I'm like, at some point, we have to stand up and say, you know what, enough's enough. The planners, Luigi, and whoever else who put this together, because I can't imagine this one child, because to me, he's a child, he's young, he's a young person to me, putting this all together. And if he did, listen, this is wild to me. But regardless, this is the wake up, like, this is the moment, right, that we just snap out of it. I mean, there's been many moments where we could have snapped out of it, but I think this is definitely the moment where it's like, it's now or never. We have got to get our shit together. You know what I'm saying? Like, For real. Like, enough is enough. We're paying too much into a system that is not, you know, putting, it's not restoring us. It's not, giving us what we need. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, no, we have to start doing things differently. And I'm not saying everyone go out pew pew somebody. Obviously, no. Like, that's not the answer. But I think this drastic measure has allowed us to realize that at the end of the day, we really have the power, right? And I saw something else on a reel, of course, on TikTok, because y'all know I love me some TikTok. But I saw something where someone was also questioning what I'm saying, like, if this person or different people or whatever, if this is actually the guy, which I just don't know that this is the guy, is this just the fall person so they can show the world, like NYPD, Pennsylvania Police Department, FBI, and whoever else was involved? Is this the fall guy to kind of like silence us again and put us like in our place? Because I feel like when old dude, or the whole whatever, we'll just say Luigi, because I just don't want to keep going back and forth with this. But when Luigi was still on the run, y'all, I felt like we had, and I still feel like we do, but it felt like we had power, or we started finding our power. It's like, yeah, now what? You can't even find this person, and we're going to support this person because we know that whatever reason he did this, it was probably legitimate. And we all have been affected in some way by the healthcare system. And a lot of times it's been negative, right? Finding out you owe for certain, services that you thought your insurance would have covered, and putting you in a bind financially, or your family member in a bind financially, because, I mean, it's your health. Your health is wealth. If you don't have your health, you have nothing in this life, literally. And this is not to, I shouldn't even say that, but I was going to say shoot down, God bless. But this is not to demean or diminish the CEO of United Healthcare's life. But think about it. This man had all the money in the world, right? And now he's dead. And I'm not saying like he intentionally put himself in this situation, but in some ways he did, right? You basically robbed so many people of family members, people's livelihoods, abilities just to live well, so you could, be greedy and take and take and take. And eventually it led to this. And as sad as it is, it's like, at what point do people like that say, I have enough, right? I don't need any more. I don't need to abuse the system and abuse people that I'm supposed to be helping. Because services are meant to help. Even though you have to pay into services, typically they're meant to solve a problem. And I feel like, particularly in the health industry, I'm a nurse practitioner, so I understand what this looks like. I feel like in some ways, certain things in the healthcare system are meant to cause additional problems, because the more problems you have, the longer you're in the system. And so they can take and 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 take from you until you die. And sometimes your family members are left to reap the, issues that you have left behind, or whatever that looks like, because of the way the system is set up. And it's unfortunate. And actually, unfortunate is not even a word. It is disgusting. It's disgusting. And when I went into healthcare, I went into it thinking, naive, totally naive, thinking I was going to truly help and be someone that can really be that caregiver that stands out and provides care regardless of what the insurance would say, regardless of, blah, blah, blah. And then when you get into the system and you see a lot of times your hands are tied, it's so disheartening. Even in primary care, because that's what I was in primary care. Services that you want to offer or you want to refer your patients to, they can't afford it, right? And so they're looking at you for additional answers, and it's like, I only have so much in my toolbox, unfortunately. And so you're just basically masking the symptoms, like throwing a Band-Aid over a huge wound a lot of times, and just hoping for the best. Or people get upset with you, and then they try to go to another provider only to find out basically what you said was not a lie. It's the system. It's not a lot of times the provider. Sometimes it is the provider. Let's be serious, but it's a rough system. It's a really rough system, and like I said, I feel like we are in a place now. This shift that we're seeing for the better, and it's crazy when you're in situations like this where it's messy and it's gross and it's like chaotic and all the things. You're like, how the hell will we get out of this mess? But it's got to be messy. Because we have to expose all the mess. We have to open it up and see the dirt and see the grime and see the infection and clean it out. Because we've been covering it up for a long time, a very long time, you know? And now it's time to clean the horrible wounds of America. Because it's not just one wound, there's so many. But I think a start with something like healthcare would be beneficial. But I think a lot of this too, the injustices in America, a lot of them are due to capitalism, just the toxicity of capitalism, also by way of racism. And until we address those ugly things in our society, we will continue to have these wounds. We will never heal. So it's time. It's time to expose all the nastiness. It's time to, get on board with the revolution. We're in it. As much as when's the revolution going to start? This is it. And we've been in it for a while. It's just, how do you know you're in a revolution, right? Until, whatever. But this is it, guys. This is it. And it's now time for us to take a stand and support one another and look out for the greater good of each other. And be in a position to stop idolizing people like billionaires and these celebrities and all this stuff. We are all we have. And these people, listen, entertainment wise, I love certain celebrities and their entertainment components and their artistic endeavors because I'm an artist. I get it. I love art. I love music. I love acting. I love all that. But the idolization of it is damaging. And it's a huge distraction, too, in many ways, because it allows us to look over here when other things are happening over here that we really should be looking at and really taking control of. And I think now our heads are turning and we're looking at those things over there and saying, wait a minute, hell no, that shouldn't be happening. And so I feel good. I'm excited. And I feel like more people are feeling that excitement and that empowerment. And it's like, yes, it is time to put on our armor and fight for what is right. We have been so divided in this country, and we still have a long way to go with coming together and healing. But I think this is the start. I really feel like this is the start. And I feel like we should not put ourselves in a position to get into these little mini arguments of, Republican and Democrat, black and white, this and that, the different hierarchical components of this country that have damaged us for so long. I think we need to let it go and recognize we're just all humans living in the United States of America, trying to make it as best as we can. And many times I would say I did not like being an American because of what this country has become and what it has, and even the origins, especially as a black person. But my ancestors built this country. And because they did that, more than ever, I am an American. Their blood, their sweat, their tears, their angst, their embarrassment, the punishments that they received, and even death that they had to endure in order for this country to be what it is. I am a true American. And it's funny, I remember at one point, Raven Simone, someone was asking her, like, where are you from? That whole thing, But where are you really from? And she's like, or like, what's your race? I think that's what it was, more than that. Because I'm an American. And people lost their minds. Like, oh my gosh, she's not claiming, being black, and blah, 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 and this, that, and the other. And now I get it. Yes, to say that she's not proud of being a black person, I don't think that's the issue. I think the issue is us, letting go of all of these things that separate us and realizing that at the end of the day, I am an American citizen. And yes, I'm black and I'm proud. I am very proud to be a black person. I love being black. Like, I literally love being black. Like, being black is like one of the coolest things ever. A little bit on the nerdier side of being black. You know, kind of cool, but nerdy. But still, I love it because one, the things that we come up with, and just our artistic expressions and our ways of communicating with each other without words and our words that people always take on to. It's such an original, we are original. We are a very original ethnicity. Our culture is so rich and beautiful. Our food, the way we move, the way we dance, the way we talk, the way we laugh, it's special. It's beautiful. And so I will never take away from being a black person. Love it. But I also am an American citizen. And I'm proud to be an American citizen. Some days it's hard being an American citizen because of the toxicity and the way we're seen and viewed around the world because of leadership. But at the end of the day, I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of my heritage. I'm proud of the people that raised me. Nothing was perfect. Just like this country, nothing is perfect. But there is still pride there. And I think more than not, we have to start claiming our heritage, claiming who we are as American citizens, being proud of who we are as American citizens, and start standing together as American citizens. That's the only way we're going to remain strong moving forward. Because if you look at the world stage, people are ready to take us out. They're ready. And if we don't start standing together and banding together, it's going to be a really rough road for us. And these other countries know that. So for me, I'm like, let's flip the switch on it and shock these people and be like, yo, these Americans completely did a 180. Like, we never thought they would get to this point where they could agree on things and they're fighting for their rights and they support one another. I believe it's possible. I really do. And look, if it was Luigi and his master plan, little dude, you did your big one, as the kids say. You did your big, big one, okay? But American citizens, we got to stand together. We got to do our thing. And we got to show people and show ourselves that not only are we worth it, but that this country, this land is worth it. And we have to do our best to take care of this land. We have people, we have our children that are going to inherit this land. And we want it to be the best it can be. So we have to start, like I said, taking care of this land, taking care of each other, loving one another, having those hard conversations, and truly seeing each other as human beings. I think this is the start, y'all. I really feel it. I feel it. And I'm so happy. I'm so excited for us. Regardless of whatever happens in the future with this country in terms of leadership, if we band together as American citizens, nothing will stop us, right? What's that song? Oh gosh, who sang that? Why am I blanking? And we can build this thing together. My voice is going to add a little bit. What is that? I'm blanking. See, and I normally know artists. This is freaking crazy town. But you know what I'm talking about. Is it REO Speedwagon? Anyway, somebody like that. One of those amazing 80s singers, or groups rather. Nothing's going to stop us now, y'all. If we build this thing together, stand the storm forever, nothing's going to stop us now. And what are the other lyrics? And if this world falls around us or something, we'll still have each other. Nothing's going to stop us. Nothing's going to stop us now. I feel so good about how things are working out. And like I said, it looks a hot mess, but I really feel good about it. And I think we just, like I said, just keep on keeping on and know that all things are working out in our good. All right, guys. I'm heading to the house. I'm almost there. This rain in New York. But we need it. We definitely need it. So grateful for the rain because we were in dire need of rain. So bring it on down. God, bring it on down. All right, guys. Almost home. So happy. And like I always say, y'all, let's just keep on keeping on. And I'll see y'all next week.